When you assemble a team first time with a bunch of people, they don't know each other, then you do the full scrum, like by the book. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Why? Because it's really helpful to make people connect, understand, and start hating whoever is the scrum master. But at least they align on something.
This is our first pilot episode. We definitely have no time to do a full episode because technology. And as a first episode, given that it's maybe next sprint, why not talking about Agile and Scrum?
Can we call this Sprint Zero, and then we have this conversation around what Sprint
What the
Zero
is
means?
a sprint zero? Yeah, yes. I mean, it's not a pilot episode. This is sprint zero, and then maybe next sprint we do a decent one.
So
Oh
we
my God, this is
we
surreal
start
already.
we can start like doing waterfalling in Sprint Zero
Yes, yes, yes. And I'm
documentation.
not gonna open a board to. Oh, we need a beep. Remember, beep
Yes,
everything.
we
You're gonna
will
cut
we
this.
will beep it. So
Beep, beep everything.
don't worry. More
So
work for me anyway.
I am Enrico. I normally do cloud infrastructure, and my co-host is Pablo, that speaks
I
Spanish.
normally do a lot of things that are close to
No
tech,
cloud
not
infrastructure.
tech, not cloud. But yeah, I've been working as head of engineering many years and delivery also on delivery side and management in general on tech companies.
Okay, so tell me, what's a sprint for you? No,
That's
but I guess it makes sense to start, talking about what do we do usually with sprints. I think your sprint, my sprint are completely different, and yeah,
yeah. I
we
guess
go from there.
I'll I'll try to avoid the, let's say, the definition by itself, because I think everyone knows what a sprint is. Funny part with this, with the concept is that I never seen this well applied, mm, like only in a few places and times. But for me, it's just a box where you define your deliverables and you go for it. That's basically what is a sprint for me. There are many surroundings, let's say, on the matter, but in general, what you are looking for, or at least under my vision, what you are looking for is a commitment from a bunch of people to deliver something in a timely manner. That's in general concept. I don't know
So
for
it's
you.
amount of work and a deadline.
Yeah, at the end of the day, yes. It's just to keep a pace and define some way of working that you can define a pace where you can check yourself against the progress.
And what happened? So yeah, I've done the same, of course, and usually all my issues are. I mean, it's very easy to pile up work and throw it in a box and say, yeah, we are gonna do it in it's about should be weeks. Um, Easy part. But the problem for me, at least, was and then the work is not done. What happened? So for me, the main problem with sprints, it's usually that what happened at the end when there is stuff that's not done.
Well, I think it's not a problem of a sprint in general. If the work is not done, you won't finish the work on a sprint or on any kind of methodology or process you want to follow. So you need to do some kind of inspection about what's going on either way, on your scope of work or your capacity of work or your expectations. Um, I don't think it's related to sprints. Now, it's true that the sprint kind of force you to commit to something, but then if you bring the purist people, it will be like inspect and adapt, right? So you'll miss, and then you will adjust, and then you'll miss, and then you will adjust, and eventually you will be hitting their expectations on the content of the sprint deliverable. Um,
But then why not doing something like a Kanban? You know, Kanban being you're just piling up things on the leftmost side of of your board, and then you're just moving them right, meaning as done as possible, and you pick a random day of the month. I don't know, whatever you
oh,
like, and it's like, that's done.
um, let me say
That's
this: Kanban for me, and I'll get a lot of hits because of this. Kanban for me is an evolution of that, even though it came first, let's say, but it's an evolution. Why an evolution? Because you have to have, first of all, an organization that is capable to live with it.
mhm.
Um, Second of all, you have to have a team that knows how to handle it, and then management needs to be really pro and not micro to let people work in that way. Now, let's
Okay.
say for me,
Let's keep all the management part because I think we discuss them maybe later next
we
sprint.
need 3 sprints to discuss about management.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
6 months. Depending on how long you do them.
Let me finish the idea, because what sprint gives that Kanban doesn't is control in a way where everyone can understand what's going on at any given time. Kanban is more first in, first out, work in progress thing. Well, first in, first out. You prioritize things, but when you start, it's more about pushing right tickets and limiting your capacity in work in progress for each status. I think you have to have a mature team that can handle that without the whole stuff of sprints as in, and now I'm talking sprint as in Scrum, as
Mhm.
in ceremonies, blah blah. You know the drill. And then you can challenge all those ceremonies again. But I hate to do dailies and wake up early in the
Okay,
morning for daily.
so you say either you do a sprint with the Scrum ceremonies. So either you throw things in a box, put expiration date on the box, and then you throw a bunch of circus stuff to that, meetings and things, or you don't at all. Because I have mixed feelings about both things, and I mean, it's easy to say, "Oh, no, you can always find a middle ground," but I mean, um, then every time you onboard a new person, you have to re-explain the super weird way you're working, and every time somebody joined the company, you have to explain them, "Yeah, no, but we're not doing exactly." So, that makes it super hard.
Both things can live together because most of the time when you do Scrum, you do kind of Kanban thing because Jira kind of forces you that way, and
Mm,
everyone uses Jira. It's as simple as you have your sprint board, and then you wipe it. You put work in progress on columns, and then you define a kind of a backlog, and then you execute. If you clean up a little bit some meetings around Scrum, you're kind of doing Kanban. Um,
okay.
I don't think there is one winner between one each other. I think it's about the mature status of a team.
Okay, so let's dig into that. What was the Have you ever tried, for example, a Kanban on a non-mature team? Because you're
Yes,
saying so. What you're saying is Kanban is for mature team, Scrum is for not necessarily mature.
I can
Yeah, tell me a
elaborate on that.
story. I want a story.
It's not
We beat
such
the
as a
names.
story, but when you assemble a team first time with a bunch of people, they don't know each other, they don't know the way they work, they don't know most of the things. Most likely, you want to do Scrum, and you do the full Scrum, like by the book. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Why? Because it's really helpful to make people connect, understand, and start hating whoever is the Scrum Master. But at least they align on something.
So you like
Um,
waste 2 days every 2 weeks if you do full Scrum. If I remember my back to the envelope
you do
kind of,
what? Sorry.
you waste 2 days every 2 weeks. Everybody does 2 week cycles in
Yeah.
meetings because you have your last day, if I'm not mistaken, that's a full day of meeting. Your first day, it's at least half a day, and then you have every day a stand up. That's 15 minutes, sure.
No, if you
and
do it by
and
the book,
and then
yes,
you have the
refinement.
refinement. That's another hour, half an hour. So we are full 2 days, give or take.
I'll
And
buy
do you
in.
think that's a meaningful investment for a
Yeah.
team to
The
waste a week,
problem
a
is,
month?
and yeah, let's say I had the experience on starting from scratch with a few teams, doing full Scrum, meaning even doing icebreakers, these kind of things. Like let's know each other, kind of thing.
Okay.
Uh,
But because
but
they were team
but
where people do not know each other, like they never worked
no,
together.
mostly all new hires, people that never work between each other,
Mm.
even people that didn't know the product by then that were they're joining. No ways of working, no tooling, no nothing. So basically starting from scratch. So what you are looking there is to connect, to making some kind of agreements, to make people know each other, to start having like open discussions, trustworthy environment kind of thing, all the package. The problem comes when you are not, you start following that recipe and you never change it. Why? And this is like really, really frequent. It's been like a year and you keep doing the same kind of process. Everyone knows each other. You don't need to do an icebreaker of anything. Kind of like this is a waste of time. This is why we have a scrum master here, basically. Then it's the discussion around, and this is another, and I will get hit again because of this, but retrospective kind of thing. Either you do it and you follow it by the book, like you do it for a meaning, or it's a waste of time. It's just you need 15 minutes saying, maybe we can improve this and that. Agree, yes, go forward. Not just discussing the whole sprint, what went well, what went not so well, pictures, diagrams, ticket, post-its, and then nothing happens. And then a sprint again, and then you start to this whole thing again. When you have like 1 year team that has been working together, they know each other, they know how they're doing things. So you need to change and adapt. And then
Okay.
it's where you are getting really close to Kanban.
Okay, but wait. I think that's super interesting. Um, let's. So what you're saying is a new team, the full Scrum, boring stuff helps forming the team. In fact, um, after a year, ballpark, you will start to have a streamlined for you version. So that implies two things. First, that you can change things. That not necessarily it's something that a manager can do in an organization, unfortunately. Then
Mm-hmm.
change organization. Uh, but let's say you can do that. What would be the structure for, let's say, this end of the year uh, Scrum situation? Like, what would you keep and what not?
So all the things usually evolves in different ways, but you will start identifying things that at the very beginning were taking a lot of time. Like again, we're gonna do a sprint planning, and we start with icebreaker. You don't need icebreaker.
Okay,
We're
so you got
gonna
straight to sprint planning.
we are doing a sprint planning in two, I don't know, two parts. First part with the PM or whoever product people is in there, PO, call it whatever you want. And then second part on the technical discussion, you don't need that anymore. It's just people know the product, people know the tech. Even
Mm.
PMs and POs should be really involved in that. So it's more of on an agreement on what's the capacity of the team to for the next 2 weeks than spending hours discussing ticket by ticket, because you also do the refinement. So you just those meetings that might take 4 hours at the very beginning, it should be an hour or 2 hours maximum. If you have a role team, maybe an
Okay.
hour. It's just, yeah, do we agree on this and that? Anything to discuss? Any unforeseen thing? Last call, whatever. Yeah, no, whatever. And you move forward.
Let's try to enumerate, the interesting ceremonies. Uh, Top of our head. I'm not going to open the Scrum thing and read all of the things. Um,
Oh, yes. You have dailies.
you have the dailies. Okay, so let's talk dailies.
Dailies.
What do you do on your dailies?
The book, it says like what you did yesterday, what you're going to do today, any impediment.
Blocker.
For me, once you evolve, you just need to talk about any kind of impediment. Are you progressing good or bad? And it's 5 minutes. It's I need help from someone. I'm blocked on this. That's it. That's the only thing you need to discuss like every day. I don't think sometimes
Okay,
it shouldn't be a discussion around anything.
you do it face to face or meeting, whatever, or writing.
Okay, that's a good one. When you're evolved, you should go Slack, like asynchronous. I mean,
But
what's the point? As long as there is an agreement of everyone that is, everyone will be looking and helping
mhm.
the ones that are in need, then it shouldn't be like more than that. Again, from the very beginning, maybe you want to do it face to face, 15 minutes, talking about whatever, and trying to get some, traction. Yeah, I'm working on this. I don't know what is that. Okay, yes, it's about this. Okay, fine, whatever. After a certain period, then this should be starting to shrink and like, yeah. Are we okay? Yes. Are we progressing? Fine. Yes. Do we have anything important? No. Okay. Bye. Let's go.
Okay, I was using dailies to understand what everybody was doing. So managing a team means also that often the team is doing stuff that you don't know. And so for me, the dailies were an extremely useful tool so that I had some visibility, and that required the people to write stuff. So then I also had the issue of sometimes people were doing stuff not mentioning in the dailies, not mentioning in any ticket. Then I cannot help you, man. But
But
working a
but
little on throw things at the daily. We were just doing it them uh, via Slack because I hate calls, especially in the morning, and I'm never on time. And then what time do you pick? You pick 10. It's late. You pick 9. It's early. Uh,
yeah,
I heard of people doing it at 3 p.m. like right after lunch, maybe because they have oversee, maybe whatever. And I never really understood that because for me, when I was an engineer and now that I'm managing teams, um, it's super important to start with the daily so that I know if I have to adapt depending on what the other people are doing. Maybe I'm using them wrong.
I'll leave the management for another sprint.
Okay,
But
true.
I think you're most of the managers, and I've been part of it, are using the dailies for the wrong reason as reporting, and you don't need daily for reporting.
So
You
you
need
should okay.
daily
So
for
dailies
alignment.
is for
And
alignment and unblocking.
correct. So
Okay.
there are many other tools that if your team is performing the best possible way that you think it should, you don't need that kind of thing. It's just open a board and see, okay, these are the things in progress. These are the things that are not moving. We are going to finish this tomorrow to today. I don't know, whatever you need. And then there is another level of management for another discussion that is the one above the middle manager that is
Yes.
looking for reporting, and then who's building the report with which kind of information.
Okay.
But I think
So
in the core of the concept, it shouldn't be reporting. So nobody should be telling you what he's doing. It's about more like I have a problem kind of thing for me.
Interesting. Um, so that's dailies. What's next? Um,
Planning,
so that's the planning is the start of the sprint,
correct.
and that's a couple of hours. You
Theoretically, it's half a day on the first day, so it's 4 hours kind of thing for a 2 week sprint.
okay? It
Theoretically,
sounds very reasonable to me. I remember when I was doing full Scrum, team of 3, 4, you needed 4 hours. Like remember the first Monday of the sprint, you just don't even. I remember I don't even go to the desk. I go directly to the meeting room
yeah.
the time before you were going to the office,
But
and you take
again,
your time. Who do you want in that room?
okay. So at the very beginning, again, you want the 4 hours. You want ticket by ticket. You even want to write tickets altogether, kind of thing.
In the time. Okay. I hate
Mm,
that. I hated
yeah.
that so
But
much.
then when everyone is rolling, I don't think you need that kind of approach because you know what's coming next. You know what you have been working. You know the product. You know this mostly all the ins and out of the product. So you want someone from product for sure in there, and you know you want the tech team.
Everybody should be there.
And by product, I mean product owner or manager and design people or UX, UI, product designers. Um, and then you want QAs and developers.
Okay.
Now, usually how it goes by the book is you have a first stage where PMs or POs present all the stories to work on the sprint because of a scope of a sprint definition, um, discussion around them, and then for agreement. And then on the second part, the tech team stays and just create tasks or whatever or go deep into them.
Okay. So at the beginning, you agree on the stories that's going to be done on that sprint, and then tech people will transform them in useful tickets, whatever. But now,
Yeah, it's not transform them, it's add whatever is missing in the middle.
okay. But then that means that you go into that meeting knowing what was not done on the previous one,
You are closing the previous one.
but you close them in a different meeting. So,
Yes.
and that's the you do retro where you close, or you have a closing ceremony
No,
that's separate.
you do a close. This is by, let's say, you do demo and you close a
Yes.
sprint and then you do retro. Again, I buy in at the very beginning, then it's ish. Depending on the organization, you will go demo.
Okay.
You should always go demo, but different stakeholders depending on the organization and the
I
scope.
was going to say I never seen demo. I was like I was having a closing meeting, so a closing sprint meeting that maybe had in internal demos. So that was like me, you, the other
Yeah.
Eng, whatever, and then the demo was the team presenting to the organization. Maybe it was just all tech or whatever, but they were presenting outside of your team, and you
I
wanted
think
to go
they
prepared
are
to that.
yeah, those are okay, but different scope. I mean, when you do internal demo, it's just to do like a validation that the sprint went as expected and you achieve
Hmm.
whatever you wanted and everything is working as expected. Of course, it should be because you can't close on the previous agreement you made when you define how you're gonna work. You can't close a ticket if the ticket if it's not achieving its goal, right? So there is a validation that whatever is there is working. Now, let's say there might be organizations they do like releases from time to time
Hmm.
into production. So you do your
That
demo,
but
you
that would not fit with Scrum too much if you're not releasing after the
another
2 weeks.
sprint discussion. you have to adapt. You
Yeah.
have to adapt. So let's say you do your internal demos, you validate, you keep progressing, you keep pushing that into whatever pre-prod, prod, flag,
Push it
whatever,
to done. You push it to done.
and then and then when you're gonna do your release, you do like whole company demo with all new features. That is more showcase the
Yes.
product than validating what you've done. Um,
And then retro.
and then the retro is for, again, for me is really useful at the very beginning. You validate a lot of things, mood, and then it should be like a really short meeting saying like, did we ruin something here? Did we did something amazing that we should keep doing? You don't need to even discuss that. Like if you did something amazing, you will keep doing it. I don't think there is any kind of discussion around that. If
Okay.
if you break something, probably you will have a discussion like right away. Also, so I think it's more a mood metric. Are we good? Are we not good? I will, if we are uh, on fire, like we have many fires all around, and this is exactly the opposite that the book says. This is the meeting I will avoid at like in the sprint because we need time. and
Okay. So if
and
you have
nobody
to,
will hire me about this any never again because this is going against the book. But you cannot afford to have like soft skill kind of 2 hour discussion around improvements when everything around is on fire. And this is real world. It's not theoretical world. So uh, I think I think this meeting should be, even you can do one sprint in, one sprint out if you like it. I don't
so
know.
monthly.
Yeah, kind of catch up all together, how we are feeling,
Okay.
this kind of thing.
And then the
In
day after, you go back to planning.
Yes. Well, there is another one that is kind of formal or not. That is the refinement.
Okay. I used to
And
do refinement during the sprint,
yes,
finding an
but
hour here and there.
surprisingly for me, that's the most important meeting of the whole thing.
Yes, our tickets were.
And yeah, and there are many ways to do this. I'll give you an example. We started doing refinements, and then we found out that the refinements were the longest meeting around Scrum
Yes.
or the sprint because there was a lot of discussions around how to do things, um, if they're going to work or not, or architectural discussions, scalability, whatever. And then it went like really big meetings, and then I won't say waste of time because it weren't needed meetings. But what I started doing by then is like time box per ticket kind of meeting, like 7 minutes an agreement. If we cannot go an agreement, this go out from the next planning.
Okay.
You know,
And
so
somebody will pick it up and set up meetings about that and decide and
yeah,
go back
like
to the. Okay.
4 minutes presentation about what's about, 2 more minutes discussion, and then voting. We go this way, this other way. If we cannot come into any agreement, it's because we are not ready to work on that. So we take it out. We'll see how we do it later, and then we move forward. Because again, it's all a time constriction thing. Otherwise, you spend months doing refinements, and then you're water falling.
Our sprint is done.
We need
Have
to
we
retro
done?
now.
Yes. No, we are not gonna retro. We're not gonna retro our stuff.
I have the scope for the next sprint. So
The
it's
retro of this
no for the planning.
one.
We do the planning offline, and then this is the sprint execution. Topic will be, let's say, how you keep all your team members informed about what you are doing. This is
Nice.
okay.
So we'll talk about that maybe next sprint.
Thank you for watching.
Bye bye.